Hey folks, this is Mike Tango Whiskey coming at you with zero production crew that I have to walk over and touch the button and then walk around this table. This video is going to be about going from tactical to practical, right? This channel is about the 68%, those of us that live in the meaty part of that bell curve, a bunch of normies trying to be better prepared. And really the question I'm trying to address is it better for us as the 68% to go with a tactical bag and make it into an EDC work bag, or to go with an EDC work bag and use it for tactical purposes? So that's kind of what I'm toying with here. This is the 511 LV18. I just posted a review of this and I'll kind of touch on some of that stuff. This is a new bag that I just got with my own money, too much of my own money. Now, you guys know I have a bag problem. I have close to 50 bags. What I want to do is I want to thin the herd. I want to purge that pile. I'm probably going to start sending them to my members and to my viewers just to get rid of them, just to send them all to you guys. I'd rather have 10 bags that are very tailored and suited for my purposes than 50 bags that are like just hanging in the rafters, which you have seen in a previous video. So this is the Sympl Commuter 24 liter. Like I said, they did not send this to me. YouTube finally paid me some money, so I spent it on bags. I spent it on bags. So hopefully my wife isn't watching this, but I got a few bags to try and clean up my habit, my pile, my addiction. But we're going to see if all of this stuff goes into this bag, how it fits, and how I get to use it. Okay, so you may see future videos on that. But 511 LV18, Sympl Commuter 24. This is supposed to be a 30-liter bag. It has a big main compartment, a secondary compartment, and then a third organization one, along with a EDC, a CCW panel in there. So great bag. They say that it's 30 liters. Let me see if I can raise this up a little bit. They say that it's 30 liters. I believe it, but it's separated amongst a bunch of different pockets, right? I like the bag. I've used it for about 2 years. Only gripes, this very stiff sheet in the back turns it into a turtle, right? Fully loaded out because of that sharp edge down there. This, what is it? This duck won't swim, this dog won't hunt. Yeah, the dog won't hunt. So I have trouble tolerating a bag that doesn't stand. I did a video on it recently talking about why I broke up with it. And after that video, I started using it again. I moved from my JanSport to this. And very quickly, I remembered why we broke up. You know, when you get back with an ex and that first night you realize, oh, right, that's why I hated your guts. Yeah. Now, I haven't experienced that because I've been married for 25 years, but I imagine some of you have been through that, and I've heard stories. So this is one of the things. My bags have to stand up, right? I do like the organization. I do like the pockets. And then the squeaking. So 511 on this bag in particular has a Mystery Ranch mouse problem where these buckles, man, not as bad as the Mystery Ranch, but it's close. It's enough for me to notice and try and cinch down on the straps to get the squeaking to stop, because I have to walk long distances at work, so that doesn't fly. So I want to see if all of this gear will fit into this bag. Now, another question that I'm trying to answer, aside from tactical to practical, is really, I'd like to get to one bag. I've seen some videos on this, and I think for the people on the end of the bell curve, for the 32%ers and the 15%ers and all those folks, the tactical ninja, bushcrafter, survivalist, it's not possible really for them to go to one bag. But for us, the 68%, I think it's possible. I think it's possible for us on the normie scale, right in the middle, to have one bag that can be our EDC bag, our work bag, and a little bit of a get home bag if we need it to be. I think we can do it because our needs are different. We're not packing an AR-15. We're not doing, 120 rounds. We're not doing that stuff. Maybe a pistol, maybe a few emergency items. I think it can be done. So that's the intent here. I'm slowly working towards that. You may see other videos, but for today, I'm going to try and move this stuff into here. So I'm going to dig all the stuff out of here and then start loading this up for you here in 1 minute. Okay, so I've got everything laid out here on the table. These are all the contents of my the 511. This is basically what I carry with me every day, with the exception of my CCW, which is only off duty. I'm not allowed to carry at work. So, and this is the bag. This is a 24-liter bag, and we're going to see if all of this can fit in here. Now, let me talk a little bit about this bag. There's a bunch of companies out right now in the EDC space that are making bags very similar to this. Commuter, EDC, there's Airpack, there's, what are some of the other popular ones that are out there? There's a lot of companies kind of doing this style of bag. I really liked this one because of this organization pouch I'm going to show you here in a minute. This isn't really a review of this. I watched a bunch of reviews and I was really impressed. I'll just show you some of the features though. So it's got a slip pocket in the front right here with a couple of mesh pockets for organization inside of there. Okay. This was the part that really got me, because there's a certain group of these things on the table here that I use very regularly. And it was this top pocket that really impressed me. So right here in this top one is basically an entire tech organizing pocket right here. So it's got like 4 different areas, a little zip pocket, some stash pockets, a magnetic key fob there, which is pretty cool. That's a nice little feature. So all of this stuff that I use pretty consistently, I mean, every day I'm using this stuff. I'm really impressed with this. This is where I'm going to work out of, and I like the idea of having my daily stuff here separated from any sort of emergency gear that I don't have to dig through or move or touch. So there's a slip pocket, this top organization one, the main compartment. This is a clamshell, so it does open all the way. 2 slip pockets here. These aren't slip pockets. These are zippered pouches, zippered pockets here. A smaller one, a slightly bigger one. This is a slightly stretchy mesh too, so that's kind of cool. It does have a little pocket up here that goes into the main compartment for tidbits, you know, sunglasses, that kind of stuff. And then a pouch here for a laptop and more organization. So there's 3 more. Now these are slip pockets, stretchy slip pockets at the top here, which I love. Then on one side there is, so they're calling this a water bottle pocket. Now this one I'm going to have to adjust to because I am used to using larger ones. But this is not going to fit in. Well, I guess it might. That feels kind of clunky to me though. We'll see. We'll see what we do. I might have to switch my water bottle, which you guys know I have plenty of water bottles to do that with. So I may have to do that. But a water bottle pocket or like an umbrella or maybe even this tripod right here. And then lastly, there is a laptop compartment, a padded laptop compartment in the back with a top pocket right here and 2 slip pockets right there too. So lots and lots of space. This is magnetic too, which is kind of cool right there. So let's see. This at 24 liters, this reminds me of and a lot of companies are going towards what GoRuck does. Like I have a GoRuck 21 liter and a GoRuck 26 liter. So the Rucker and the GR1, and they carry much bigger. They feel what other bags claim to be 30 liters. These bags, these clamshell style bags carry much bigger. It just feels like they're larger than they are. So this is a really good design that allows you to carry a lot of gear very effectively. Okay, so on the table I have my work stuff, my my laptop, my tech kit, which I've now switched from a generic Condor over to the Vanquist one that Justin sent to me. So that's my tech pouch. So that goes in here. My speaker for presenting, my badge, headphones, and then sunglasses. So this is like daily use stuff. My water bottle over here. This is what I would call my EDC area. So also, now that I'm a YouTuber, I've got a tripod and a little accessory kit with like microphones and that. Here I've got my EDC stuff. So beard brush, deodorant, some smell good stuff, a small toiletry kit for mouth and pits and those kind of things. My glasses, a spare flashlight. This is the Woobin X4, which I'm testing out and seeing how much I love or don't love. It's locked right now. Good. And then this is what I would call emergency gear. So when I'm not at work, wherever legal, I am armed, right? But I'm not allowed to carry at work, so that's not always with me. But when it is, that's there. That is a SIG P365. And then I have 2 bits of emergency kit. This is my 1 pound possibles pouch. I'll link the video for that with various gear in there. Again, it's got a pick, a fixed blade knife, contractor bag, a small medical kit, a lighter, a whistle, and a flashlight, and some medication as well, like muscle relaxers and ibuprofen. This is a kind of an emergency pouch, but I use this more often than you'd think. This is so I've got a coat hanger folded up in here that I use, and then a wedge to either gain access to vehicles or to buildings, which happens more often than you would think. And I've got some pepper spray too, a non-lethal option in case I'm stuck downtown somewhere and things get spicy and I don't have my firearm. That's useful even if you do have your firearm. So I consider this emergency gear though. So 1 pound possibles pouch, a little bit of emergency gear. And then this pouch is also from Vanquish Gear. This is their expandable sticky pouch, I think. It's kind of great. It unzips and it gets all fat. So this, in winter, I always carry something like this. So I've got a beanie, a pair of gloves, and then a puffy jacket in there that I got. All 3 of those things have been thrifted, but Vanquish did send me that bag though. So I cut that last clip a little bit short because I started fumbling with what went where. I did have to rearrange a couple things. And let me say that when you are switching from one bag to another, you may have to change up the way that you carry things. Like I'll give you a good example. So I've had a tech pouch for a few years and I loved it. I thought it was pretty cool. All of my tech stuff in one spot, that makes sense to me. But that it wouldn't really fit in here. Like this organization pocket is not as expandable as I had hoped. So I'm not able to put my toiletries in here. So I had to move my toiletries into a small bag, like a little a pouch. And then I had to rethink my tech pouch. It's like, do I need, so at work I would take this out, open it up. I would get my power cord and my clicker and my name tag out of here for the most part. That was it. The rest of the stuff, 99% of the time just sits in this tech pouch. So I had to rethink even having a tech pouch. So using the Vanquish for that purpose was very short-lived, like an hour or so. So what I ended up doing was moving some of the tech pieces that I touch every single time my laptop comes out. I touch 2 or 3 items. So I moved those to this area up here, thinking that maybe that's the way to go. So just be ready to adjust your expectations if you're switching bags or switching systems, to rethink and be ready to burn down any assumptions or notions that you may have about what's perfect, what works, and change it up. You may have to adjust. Maybe this is the perfect bag if I use those kits a little bit differently, or I start to mix and match or carry things in a different way. So just think about that. This is the bag loaded. First of all, it stupendously solves the 511 problem. I mean, this thing is pretty rock solid. You set it down, it's going to stay there, right? I could tip it over if I wanted to, but standing on its own, it's going to do nice. This is a little weird having a water bottle pocket on one side, but when I loaded the inside, I kind of put the heavier stuff on that other side, so we'll see how it carries. But right now, that doesn't bother me too much. I do tend to carry on my left shoulder, so part of me, I've had this bottle fall out of the 511, but this pocket seems deep enough that I don't know that that's going to be a problem. I don't think it will be. Once you get up to about half, you start running the risk of that jumping down onto the street. Okay, without further ado, let me kind of dump the contents in here and how I've got it organized. And this may change over time, but so this front pocket, in the mornings when I catch the bus, 2 things I always grab are my cord headphones and my badge. So I pull those 2 things out. This gets me on the bus. This gets me not talking to strangers. The second thing that I probably use the most is my beard brush. I probably brush my beard every, I don't know, hour or so. So my logic was, okay, what do you grab multiple times a day for multiple purposes? And those are the 2 things that I put in this front pocket, remembering that there's two kind of slip pockets in there. And there's still a little bit of space right here to put something. I thought about this being a spot for my pistol, and I still may try that, but I worry about printing on the front there, because of the stretch. So we'll see. I'll try that here in a second to see how it looks. Now this is the pocket that I was most excited about, but I'll be honest, I started to put my toiletries in here, my deodorant and my smell good stuff. They were too fat. This pocket begins to get, the zipper begins to struggle pretty quickly, because there's just not a lot of expansion, which makes sense because it's doing this. There's no real, it doesn't go into the interior space, it just does this. So there's only so much you can do in there. So what I did was I emptied the contents of my tech pouch and distributed those items in here. So ironically, this pouch, this pocket that I thought I'd be using the most, probably now will be used the least. But it does do a good job of holding all these things. I did put the spare flashlight in here. Now that it's winter, this is far more likely for me to have to use. And I do find this little zipper pocket may be good because I find myself trying to save receipts and sticky notes and things like that, and I don't really have a place to put them. So now this will probably become my tiny document storage area. But yeah, and then this key fob is cool, so I need to put that set of keys to my bike locker on there. So anyway, so these are the things out of the tech pouch that I don't touch that often. The clamshell. Now, with clamshell, you need to use, you're going to have to use pouches and pockets, right? Up here, I have the break-in kit and the mace. This is my possibles pouch. And I think I'm going to try and redesign this possibles pouch too, and maybe move these contents into one of these other ones. See if I can get it to fit in there. We'll see. So that's there, and I'm least likely to use. This one's a little bit more likely than this one. But in here, I've just kind of got it. We'll see how this sorts out. I don't really like things loose and jumbled, but this bag is just the right size that all this fits in here pretty tight. I don't foresee these things coming apart. Accessories for shooting video, my tripod right here off to the side. This is my toiletry kit, so I did add my toiletries to this, my deodorant, my little boo-boo kit, and so I don't like having to go through two zippers to get to this, but when I thought about it, I don't use this that often because when I go to the gym, I have another set of deodorant and smell good stuff there, so this may be fine. And then I had it like this, but then I'm more likely to grab this every day than I am the toiletry pouch. So I got my speaker here. Now, this is also the compartment that I chose to put my pistol. So if I am carrying my pistol and off body, that's a good place for it to go. Because it would go from this bag to my person. So that might not be a bad place to keep that if it's in transition. Let's see. Oh, that fits kind of nice. It's a little bulky. Let's see how bulky that gets with my... does that print? Can you see that? I do like that. That's a lot faster to be able to access, even come out of the holster too. That's kind of nice. I like that. So that may be an option in the future too. And it didn't really seem to print on there. So, and again, in here, up at the top, the things that I use pretty rarely is my charging block, my cable, and my glasses. So I do need those things, but not nearly as often. These things probably come out once every 2 weeks or so. So I think I'm comfortable with them living there. This guy here, this guy here. Put the right way. See, I worry about stuff leaking in here, but I guess that's why it's in that pouch. And then the speaker. So I'm not a huge fan of this, right? But I may be able to change that up too and get it to fit a little bit better. This fat piece at the bottom there's a little bit tight. Top pocket, little quick access pocket. So I did have my badge and my earphones in here, but the more this clamshell area is full, then the tighter this gets because it is in that area as well. And also I put some things in the back here with the laptop. So this gets pretty tight. So sunglasses, we'll see how this works. We're going into winter, so I don't need sunglasses nearly as much, but I hate not to use this pouch. So the badge and the headphones may come up here, which may be more convenient than down here. We'll see. That may move around, but for right now, I'm going to leave the sunglasses in there. We still have a little bit of sun left. This one, I didn't find a use for this. I took the chest strap off because when I'm at work, I never wear a chest strap unless I'm like hiking or something. So I put that in here. I haven't found a use for this. The tripod doesn't fit in there. My water bottle, I would have to switch to, this guy does fit in there, but it's just kind of like wrestling it out of that spot. Maybe this is a good spot for an umbrella. That seems like a good idea. Or a scarf or something quick grab like that. Like my beanie. Maybe my beanie can go in here for winter, my beanie and gloves. So that might be a good option for that spot. We'll see. The main laptop. So this is kind of nice because it does have kind of 1.5 pockets. So right here, I've got the laptop. I've got my whiteboard for impromptu teaching when I'm on the street teaching stuff, teaching leadership to the vagabonds, right? No. Up in this top area here, I put the things that I'm always grabbing out of my tech pouch. So I've got my power cord, I've got my clicker, my name tag for when I teach, and my markers for whiteboard work. Let me flip these upside down. It's my #1 complaint that people dry erase markers. So this way I'm going to fix these. There we go. So this makes sense to me, even though I had to redesign what I normally do. So this is the tech pouch went away, but this thing has enough pockets that I could take advantage of that, where 9 times out of 10 at work, these are the things that I'm pulling out. So, in fact, now that I'm saying that out loud, I think it makes better sense for these 2 things to come up here. Yeah, because on the bus, when this is sitting next to me, that's what I want right there. Those have to go there. That's because now 95% of the things I'm grabbing are right here in this area, and the rest of this could be reutilized for something else. So beard brush, yeah, that's probably still good there. This might even fit up in here. Let's see. Up in here. Make me lose my mind. It kind of gets lost in there because it's tight. It's like it's kind of dark in there. It's tight going in. Keep your mind out of the gutter. Yeah, we'll see how that stuff does. Those are the 3 things I access the most, I think. But then now I have all this to go, right? So maybe instead of burying my pistol back in the back, having it readily accessible, maybe this becomes the main pouch for that and doesn't interfere with anything else. Can you tell? Not really, right? That looks pretty good. Yeah. So I feel okay about my $250 being spent. This is why I hate spending retail. I'm so picky. And when I spend money and there's something about it that's not meeting my then I start getting I like it. I like the bag. We're going to see how much I like it over usage. But, I guess what's the other lesson? The lesson is there's no perfect bag. Every bag is a little bit of a compromise. You guys know my JanSport. Oh shoot. I just saw the name again. This unattainable JanSport. I actually found one on eBay for $25, a gray one. So the guy offered me a deal. He offered it to me for $20. I didn't buy it though, because I still have this one. And I just spent a few $100s on a couple other bags, this being one of them. I also have a Vertex Ready Pack coming, and I found a Vertex, not an Overlander, but a Base Camp on clearance. So that's going to be my Things Getting Spicy bag. This is meant to be my EDC work, little bit of get home stuff. See, there's nothing get home in here though. Can you guys smell the regret? Can you see it? Is it obvious on my face? This is going to be a great work bag, I'm sure. But maybe I need something bigger to do the whole one bag concept. So more to come, more money to be spent, more videos to be made. Anyway, that's it for now. Stupid regret. Mike Tango Whiskey. I'm all clear.